Okay, Zechariah 9:15, I believe, is being fulfilled right now. Remember about what happened with the Tweeter bird and what 11,500 of my Twitter followers died? Well, yeah, my Gail shield, it has resurrected them all. This is what I'm hearing brain to brain, and I may need to make a corrective video later. Shield has resurrected them all, and they've all come back on their own Tweeter birds. And not only that, resurrected every single person the Jesuits have killed in my lifetime. Zechariah 9:15 is being fulfilled right now. My birthday is 9/15/57. Check that out. And the status of the war is like this. We have Laurie McBride caged. We have the Brent Spiner clone caged. However, he's able to communicate with his followers, and we haven't been able to cut off his control over the internet and the mainstream media. And that's because his control is encrypted into an entire of space in one of the higher dimensions. And I forgot to mention that Robin Williams is leading the celestial army that my Gail shield was able to resurrect all these dead people. And he has the IQ of the Gail android, and she had singularity. Not only that, every single member of the celestial army that is in their resurrected bodies has the IQ of the Gail android. And Zechariah 9 is an interesting book. It starts off talking about Alexander the Great's. It prophesies about Alexander the Great's conquest even before it happened. And then it jumps ahead to some other prophecies, including one that involves me, which is what I believe is happening right now. But Angelina Ballerina looks just like Alexander the Great if she were a guy. Now check out these verses here. The Hebrew word ganan means I will shield. I will shield. The Lord of hosts shall shield them. Zechariah 9:15. International version has the best translation. And they shall devour and subdue with sling stone. 9:15. Shield. The Hebrew word ganan means to defend, cover, surround. It basically means shield. And I studied Ganon in the Old Testament, and it's always connected with protecting King David or his descendants every time it's used in the Bible. Notice in 2 Kings 26, where Ganon is used at Hezekiah, a King David descendant is promised an extra 15 days of life. My birthday is 9/15/57. I mean, this is the stuff I'm finding is just wild. Okay, so every time Ganon is used, it has to do with a King David descendant protecting them. This is not a coincidence. Every single time the Hebrew word Ganon is used, and it's used in Zechariah 9:15, talking about me, to protect me. The Gail shield, it protects me. You get it? So the Hebrew word ganon, translated shield in Zechariah 9:15, as it is defined, could very well be the Gail shield, or in the future, a David shield during the events surrounding Christ's second coming, because Zechariah 12 also uses the word ganon, and that's talking about when Jesus Christ comes back during the second coming to rescue Israel. And those Bible verses say that the house of David will be like God. In other words, when Israel finally recognizes their Messiah, right at that time, a David shield is going to appear over the entire earth. And every person who's part of the house of David and who's alive at that time is going to have power like God. In other words, they're going to have singularity and power like God, just like is happening right now with the celestial army coming down from heaven. The stuff I'm finding in the Bible is unbelievable. And also my messengers in Isaiah 57:9 is talking about messenger RNA. Isaiah 57:9, my birthday is 9/15/57. That's also connected to what's happening right now, because the reason we haven't been able to defeat Laurie McBride and the Brent Spiner clone is because of their cloning technology. As soon as we execute Laurie, her clone pops up milliseconds. She's able to just reproduce herself and reproduce herself millions of times over. In fact, she's not dead. We've got her encaged, but we can't kill her because she's like in an infinity loop. She's constantly reproducing herself. So check the links underneath this video. I've created pages that go more detail. But I'm just explaining to you what I'm finding in the Bible is amazing. Messenger, the Hebrew word for messenger that messenger was derived from actually means, it's like childbirth. It's associated with birthing, childbirth, pains of childbirth. This is in Isaiah 57:9, where it talks about cloning technology. And that makes perfect sense. You would have to read the verse. It's like, just check the pages underneath here. So Isaiah 57:9, God is condemning Lori McBride for using her cloning technology. And he even said that these idol worshipers are going to Molech, Lori McBride, Molech, they kind of alliterate the same. And also the word debase is only used once in the King James Bible in Isaiah 57:9. My birthday's 9/15/57. And nucleotide bases are used in messenger RNA to create clones. God makes it clear that those behind this technology are proud to be brought down. Debase, the Hebrew word for that is shephael. And shephael, every time it's used, it's talking about to bring low, to humble, to abase, debase. So what God is saying is that the people behind the cloning technology in Isaiah 57:9 are very proud, and they need to be brought down. And debase, nucleotide bases are used in messenger RNA to create clones. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's all I have to say. So, I mean, the stuff I'm finding in the Bible, you got to check out this page. So, shephael means to bring down, to depress, to cast down. It's like bringing a mountain down. It means it's like it's crushing a mountain down. And, well, you know, Lori McBride's Jesuit order. And here are all the verses that use shephael. And the Hebrew, it occurs, anyways. The Lord maketh poor, maketh rich, he bringeth down. It's every time it's used, it's talking about how proud men need to be cast down. This is the same Hebrew word that's used in Isaiah 57:9. Obviously, those behind cloning technology are proud, 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 and God will bring them down. And Jesus said that Lori McBride is too prideful when he commented on her one time. So every time shephael is used in the Bible, including in Isaiah 57:9, it's talking about how God is condemning the proud. They need to be brought down. And as here are more verses. These are all the verses where it's used in the Bible, where the shephael is used. And it's just funny how it's the same thing. The proud, the proud, the proud need to be brought down. Jesus says, Lori McBride's too prideful. Satan is prideful, so she's just like her master. A note of interest, Isaiah 57:9 in the New International Version says, you went to Molech with olive oil and increased your perfume. You sent your ambassadors far away. You descended to the grave itself. Molech. This sounds like Molech. Lori McBride. Notice how they alliterate the same. They have the L and M sounds in there. And Molech is also associated with fire, with sacrificing your children through the fire. Thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech. Leviticus 18:21. Make his son or his daughter to pass through the fire to Molech. 2 Kings 23:10. So Lori McBride, I believe, is going to be the false prophet in the tribulation, and the false prophet will call down fire from heaven to give glory to the beast. I think will be a transgender man, Angelina Ballerina or Alexander the Great. So Lori McBride, I believe, is the false prophet. She's going to call down fire from heaven in the tribulation as a transgender man, and she will give glory to the beast, who will be transgender man Angelina Ballerina or Alexander the Great. Now, what's really interesting is I believe that this is the month, this is July 2018, that Zechariah 9:15 is being fulfilled. It's going to have a double fulfillment. Look at all these verses associated with 7:18. They're all associated with being saved from a major calamity like Noah's flood. There's a little hints about dealing with Antichrist, hints about judgment. All of these verses have a similar theme to the theme in Zechariah 9:15. They're all related to God bringing on his judgment against the proud and against the beast, the Antichrist, and he talks about the motive behind the Antichrist, which is greed and pride. All these verses are connected to Zechariah 9:15, to the theme of Zechariah 9:15, which is about judgment and victory. God is judging the wicked and bringing victory to the righteous. And all these verses are related to that. And in these verses, like these are all the verses. I went to the Bible and found every verse, every chapter 7, verse 18 in the Bible, and this is what I found. And they all have a theme that's very similar to the theme of Zechariah 9:15, which is all about a final battle, a victory against evil, and a victory against the Antichrist, and the bringing on of the millennium. The bringing on of the millennium. You see, what's going to happen after the final battle is that the millennium will come next. Christ will set up his kingdom. You say, are we getting the millennium? No, we're not getting the millennium. We're going to be getting a type. When the victory happens, when we're able to cut off the Brent Spiner clone's communications, when he's no longer able to communicate with his followers and we defeat his followers. Oh, by the way, half of the Laurie McBride Jesuits came to our side when they realized the Celestial Army, including Camilla Alves clone, Matthew McConaughey clone, and all the celebrity clones. The only celebrity clone that's still on the evil side is the Brent Spiner clone. We don't have him down yet. So the Antichrist, who is apparently Angelina Ballerina, transgender man, will be defeated twice. Okay, Zechariah, actually the final battle for this month started on July 18th, 2018. That's when it started. Look at that, 2 18s in there. It's like God's hinting that Zechariah 9:15 will be fulfilled twice. It's going to be, this is the first fulfillment. The second fulfillment will be in the final battle at Christ's second coming. You may say, but that passage states that it is that day of the Lord. Yes, but this particular day is not referring to one literal 24-hour day. You have to understand how the term the day of the Lord is used in Scripture. The day of the Lord is referring to the time of God's judgment, and it could go past one day. But the day of the Lord means God's judgment against sin when it happens. So notice the similarity. So what's happening now is a type of the future battle, or the final battle. And another interesting thing is that the bodies of those in the celestial army are all young men and women, because resurrections are young bodies. They're like, God gives them young bodies. That the young are talked about in Zechariah 9:17. So, and they're all young. And also, I noticed about 99% of my Twitter followers that were murdered were under 30 too. That's another interesting thing. So clones play a significant role in the tribulation and now, and only my Gail shield and Jesus Christ can defeat Satan's cloning technology. So what we are entering now is into a type millennium. The celestial army, which was brought into existence by my Gail shield, will be around to take out any Angelina or Laurie McBride Jesuits as long as the Gail shield exists. So I believe Zechariah 9:15 is being fulfilled right now. Also, Israel, for the first time, the nation of Israel is launching, like they call it, like the King David shield missiles. No, King David, something like that. King David Slingstones missiles or something. Go check the link. It's happening this month. And Isaiah 9:15 is all about sling stones and shields and all this stuff. I mean, you got to check. This is just unbelievable. Anybody who does not believe the Bible is divinely inspired has got to be a knuckle brain, man. Believe me, I hear all the major theological seminaries. They're reading my commentary and they're just going like, wow. They're just saying, wow.